How are you all? In last video, I introduced a concept called logarithms. Maybe you understood, and maybe you remember I gave some problem for homework, right? I hope you solved. Okay, you send those solution to me. I'll check and I'll send you back if there is a mistake. Understood? Okay. Today I am introducing the one more concept called limits. Okay, this is required in physics in the beginning, and you are going to learn this in detail in our subject in this year only. Remember that. Okay, so I am just giving the introduction of the concept called limits. Okay, you know the meaning of limit, general meaning, right? So using the same meaning, okay, the meaning of limit. I am going to explain you what I mean by limits, how to use it in the problems. Okay, listen. First concept you should learn, understand under this heading is this symbol and its meaning. X arrow mark A. Maybe you didn't see this before this. Remember that. Okay. How to read this? X tends to A. Remember that. How to read? X tends to A or X approaches to A. First you should understand what is the meaning of this. Remember, very important concept. Okay, this concept of our limits as well as in other subject. Okay, see, X tends to A means X takes the values closer and closer to A in the neighborhood of A. X takes the values closer and closer to A in the neighborhood of A. Maybe this statement is difficult to understand in the beginning. Don't worry, I'll help you. See, in maths, the best tool to understand any concept is example. Try to take some example and understand the theory. Read one definition, read one concept. If you not understood, nothing to worry. Take one example. Try to understand the theory using that example. See, you will understand what I am telling. Let me take one example. X tends to 2. What I told, what is the meaning of X? X tends to A. X takes the values closer and closer to A in the neighborhood of A. Exactly. So, this implies X takes the values closer and closer to 2 in two different forms. See this. See, I told in the neighborhood of A or neighborhood of 2. What do you mean by neighborhood of 2? Those values should be very close to 2. See, it start from maybe 1.9. Definitely it will not start from 0, 1, 2 like that, because 0 and 1 are not considered as a neighborhood of 2. So 1.9. The neighborhood word is directly connected, is very close to 2. Remember that. 1.9. maybe 1.9, next value 1.99 and so on. How many values it will take? Infinitely many values. Remember, it will take infinitely many values like this. But remember, at any position, it is never equal to 2. You can write if X tends to A, definitely X is not equal to A. Maybe last but 1.999, 100 nines or 1000 nines, whatever it may be, it will never be equal to 2. So, it may approach us to 2 like this. Okay, all these set of values are very close to 2. Remember that these are all called the neighborhood of 2. This is from one end. See, I hope you know the real line, right? Suppose this is a 2 in the real line. Where these values will come? Yeah, these values will come from the left hand side. I put arrow mark. I hope observe properly. Similarly, there is a neighborhood for 2 in one more end from the positive end. This is negative end, right? This is a positive end. So, it may approach us to 2 from this side also. Suppose X takes the values near to 2 from the right hand side, the possible values are like this. 2.01, 2.001, 2.001 and so on. I am repeating, this value should be near to 2. Remember that, it cannot be 1, 0 like that. How many values it will take? Infinitely many values. Even if after taking infinitely many values, at any stage, it's never equal to 2. It is coming close to 2 from right hand side. This set of values are coming close to 2 from left hand side. Remember that. So, these are the two infinite number of set of values when you write X tends to 2. Don't think that X tends to means it take one value. It take either like this or like this. You are not using both together, either like this or like this. Got it? It will take infinitely many values. Now, if If x takes the values closer and closer to 2 like this, then in general we represent like this. If x takes the values near to a from less than a, these are all values are less than 2, no? If x takes the values near to a when x is less than a, then we denote this by x tends to a minus, x tends to a minus. If I write or if you see anywhere x tends to a minus, its meaning is x takes the values closer and closer to a from left hand side. Remember that. Similarly, if x approaches to a when x is greater than a, then we denote this by x tends to a plus. This is not an operator for this. Remember, this just will indicate that it approaches to a when x is less than a. This plus is not an operator for a. It just indicates that it approaches to a when x is greater than a. So remember this. Definitely you are going to use these symbols in maths and maybe in physics. But to give the introduction what I mean by limits, I need all this, so I have to explain. So I hope you understood. When you write x tends to a, it will take in two different positions. Okay, one is from left hand side and another is from right hand side. Now I will come to the point. Exactly what I mean by limit. Okay, limit meaning you know, right? So the next concept I am going to introduce, just I am giving introduction, remember that, limit of a function. Okay, here maybe this term new for you in maths. Already you know about so many different functions. I am not talking about your marriage function, other function. This function is different. That you are going to learn in first PUC as a first chapter. Don't worry now. Okay, already saw so many functions. When you are going to learn in a regular class, you will understand. So limit of a function. Now, suppose if I write limit of x plus 1 as x tends to 2, the problem will be like this. Limit of x plus 1, this is a linear polynomial or it is also called linear function. Limit of a linear function x plus 1 as x tends to 2. Then how to write this? The symbol for representing this sentence is like this, limit, L-I-M. You are not writing full, you are just writing L-I-M. X tends to 2 you will write below, and the limit of which function you are finding, that you are going to write here. Okay, now I will show you how to get the limit of this, okay, as x tends to 2. For that I will write one table. Okay, so the very simple table. It required 2 rows and few columns. Here x, here x plus 1. Okay, you know what I mean by x tends to 2. So let me take some values. Let me take from the left hand side first, 1.9, 1.99 and so on. No, it is not possible to write all, just few elements. Okay, suppose it is 1.9, then it will be x plus 1 will be 2.9, just add 1 to it, 2.99 and so on, 2.999. Now observe carefully, in first row as x approaches towards 2, right, 1.9, 1.99 and so on up to 1.999. In second row, x plus 1 approaching towards which value? Can you tell me? 2.9, 2.99 and so on, 2.9999. It is very close to which one? Yeah, exactly. It is very close to 3. Can it exceed 3? No. Can it be equal to 3? No. So, what is the meaning of x plus 1 tends to 3? X plus 1 takes the values closer and closer to 3. Not more than 3, and remember, never equal to 3. Why it is never equal to 3? When x plus 1 will be 3? Only if x is equal to 2. But can x is equal to 2 as x tends to 2? Never. So x plus 1 is not equal to 3. What is the meaning of this? This means limit of x plus 1, that is x plus 1 never exceeds 3 as x takes the values closer and closer to 2. X plus 1 never exceed 3 as x takes the values closer and closer to 2. I hope you understood. Yes, very good. Next, let me take one more example. Now you are going to answer this. Okay, limit x tends to 1, x square minus 1. Limit x tends to 1, x square minus 1. How to find out? So let me take the table for the another case. See, you can ask here, so you took the right left hand side. Suppose right hand side, maybe this is different. Definitely no. Even if you take these values, it will never change. I'll show you here. Can you tell me what do you mean by x tends to 1? Okay, from right hand side. What are the different possible values? From right hand side means this side. That means 0.9, right? No? Sorry. 1.01, 1.001 and so on. Right now? This will be 0. Approximately I am writing 0.01, 0.001 and so on. So maybe here at 0.0001, maybe I am just not writing exact values, I am writing only few values. Okay. So you can observe here, as x takes the values closer and closer to 1, x square minus 1 takes the values closer and closer to 0. Right now 0.0001 will be very close to 0. So limit of x square minus 1 as x tends to 1 is 0. Okay, I hope you understood.